Meghan has the most expensive clothes and jewelry that you can imagine. Meghan uses so much money. They have so many people who try to look after them.
And he doesn't have this money anymore. Harry's courtroom dramas are set to cost him £1.5 million. Reports that the Duke is in a total mess financially. £1.5 million of his own money into another disastrous case. I mean, I know there's the inheritance from the late Queen Mother, from Princess Diana, but remember their outgoings are so extraordinarily large.
Prince Harry has had enough. According to insiders, the Duke of Sussex finally reached his boiling point after discovering that Meghan Markle made yet another costly decision behind his back. This time, a mistake worth a staggering £1.5 million. And when the truth hit him, he didn't just frown or quietly stew. He exploded. He lost it. The kind of furious outburst that insiders say even startled Meghan herself. Why? Because this wasn't just about the money. It was about trust, betrayal, and the deep cracks forming behind the smiling Sussex facade. Welcome back, folks, and buckle up, because this might just be the loudest royal meltdown we've seen yet. Now, let's get this straight. We're not talking about a simple shopping spree gone wrong or a wardrobe splurge that went over budget. No, this is reportedly a major blunder. A £1.5 million misstep that has left Prince Harry completely stunned and furious. Details remain tightly under wraps, but sources close to the couple say it involved Meghan making a bold move with their money without Harry's full knowledge or approval. Whether it was an investment, a legal expense, a PR deal, or a private venture, no one's quite sure. And maybe that's the worst part for Harry, the feeling of being left in the dark. All he knows for certain is that it cost them dearly, and this time there's no sweeping it under the rug. Not when 7 figures are at stake, and not when the public is already watching their every move like hawks. So what does Harry do when he finds out? He erupts. According to sources inside the Montecito estate, Harry's fury could be heard throughout the house. This wasn't the calm, press-trained royal we've come to recognize. This was the raw, unfiltered Harry, the one who'd had it. Insiders say he shouted, paced, and slammed his hand on the kitchen counter in disbelief. "How could you do this without telling me?" was the sentiment he reportedly yelled at Meghan over and over. Meghan, blindsided, tried to defend herself, but Harry wasn't hearing it. He's been dealing with pressure from every angle. Legal battles, financial uncertainty, mounting public criticism. And now this? $1.5 million gone just like that? This wasn't just a financial loss to him. It felt like the final straw. What's so striking about Harry's reaction is how it contrasts with the image he usually projects. For years, he's defended Meghan fiercely, standing by her side through scandals, interviews, and tabloid storms. He gave up his royal life for her. But in this moment, that support seemed to crack. His explosion wasn't just loud, it was emotional, personal. It's as if all the sacrifices he's made came crashing down in one fiery confrontation. And you have to ask, was this the first time Harry's truly questioned if it was all worth it? But before we go further, let's rewind a bit, because this £1.5 million mistake didn't happen in a vacuum. If we've learned anything about the Sussexes, it's that drama rarely shows up alone. It comes layered with history, tension, and a long list of warning signs. Let's start with the most famous one, King Charles. Remember when Charles told Harry he couldn't afford to support Meghan? People thought it was a cheap excuse. But now it's looking more like a prophecy. Charles was reportedly wary from the start. He saw Meghan's ambitious nature and feared she'd lead Harry into a life that wasn't sustainable. Back then, Harry shrugged it off. He believed he and Meghan could build their own empire. But look where that belief has landed them. Cut off from the crown's purse strings, juggling mega mansion bills, hemorrhaging money on lawsuits and media deals, and now this, a £1.5 million disaster that Charles likely saw coming a mile away. Then there's the infamous story about Meghan snooping in Prince William's car. Royal watchers will remember this one. It was early in the relationship. Harry brought Meghan to a polo event. She wasn't exactly invited. And at one point, she was reportedly caught rummaging through William's vehicle. No one knows what she was looking for, but the optics? Bad. Really bad. William was furious. He allegedly had her removed from the grounds and told Harry point blank, "She's trouble." That was years ago. But now, with every misstep and every costly error, those early red flags look a lot more like flashing sirens. And then there's Doria. Meghan's mother, quiet, composed one in the background. For years, Doria was the steady presence in their chaotic lives, but even she seems to have slipped away lately. Some reports say she packed her bags and left Montecito entirely. No drama, no statement, just gone. The internet had a field day with it. "Tata dear, I'm outta here," one commenter joked. But behind the humor was a deeper message. When even Meghan's mom distances herself, you know something's going wrong behind the scenes. And while Meghan may be catching the most heat for the £1.5 million blow, let's not pretend Harry hasn't been adding fuel to the fire himself. The man has been on a legal rampage for the past few years, suing tabloids, suing the UK government over his security, even suing media corporations in court battles that cost millions. Some say it's about justice, others say it's obsession. But either way, the legal bills are piling up. Combine that with the expensive mansion, private security, lifestyle costs, and the crumbling business deals, and it's no wonder that a financial mistake like this pushed him over the edge. And don't forget, Harry's Netflix and Spotify deals haven't exactly been gold mines. Spotify dropped them. Netflix is reportedly demanding more content with better results. Meghan's podcast flopped. Her children's book didn't exactly climb bestseller lists. And let's be honest, those millions they signed for, they don't just land in your lap. There are teams to pay, production costs, PR machines, and now there's a very real fear that the money might not last. So back to the explosion, because this wasn't just about Meghan spending too much. This was Harry realizing that everything is teetering, that their dream life, the independence, the fame, the fortune, isn't as bulletproof as they thought. His explosion was more than anger. It was fear, exhaustion, maybe even regret. And Meghan? She was reportedly speechless. For once, the woman who always has a statement ready didn't know what to say. Insiders claim she tried to reason with him, saying the money would come back, that it was part of a bigger strategy. But Harry wasn't buying it. He's seen too many promises crash and burn. The Spotify deal, the Netflix stress, constant backlash. He knows they're running out of goodwill and maybe out of cash too. Public reaction to all this? Brutal. He deserves it. Not again, Meghan. Karma. Those are just some of the cleaner comments we've seen online. People are tired of the excuses, tired of the drama, tired of seeing a prince once admired now flailing in Hollywood, trapped in scandal after scandal. Some say he's getting what he asked for, others say it's just plain sad. And now we're all left wondering, what comes next? Is this the tipping point? The moment Harry finally stops defending Meghan and starts holding her accountable? Could this be the beginning of a deeper rift, one that doesn't heal? No one knows for sure. But one thing's clear, this wasn't just another argument. This was Harry exploding over a financial disaster that could shake the foundation of his marriage. This was the sound of a man who's finally realized that something has to change, and fast. So what do you think? Has Harry finally woken up to the reality of his situation? Or is this just another bump on the long, bumpy road the Sussexes have chosen? Is Meghan truly to blame for this blunder? Or is Harry just looking for someone to take the fall? Drop your thoughts in the comments because you already know this royal drama is far from over. And here's where it gets real, not just for them, but for us watching from the outside. Because this moment, this isn't just some private couple's squabble. This is the inevitable snap in a marriage the public has been dissecting from the start. A marriage built on defiance, independence, and image control. Now threatened not by paparazzi or tabloids, but by something far more dangerous, reality. Let's not sugarcoat it. Meghan's £1.5 million mistake wasn't just a bad financial call. It was a symbol of something Harry has refused to face for years. That maybe, just maybe, Meghan doesn't always know best. That her bold, go big or go home instincts can sometimes go very wrong. And for someone like Harry, who's walked away from everything to stand by her side, realizing that can be devastating. Imagine being Harry. You've cut ties with your brother. You've left the royal family. You've been mocked, doubted, ridiculed. And through it all, the only thing anchoring you has been the belief that you and Meghan are a team. That belief is what kept him going. But now, staring at a financial disaster he had no part in approving, that belief is cracking. And Meghan? She's no stranger to criticism. But this isn't the press. This is Harry, the one person who never turned on her. If he's starting to, what does that say? According to insiders, Meghan was visibly shaken by Harry's outburst. Not just because he was angry, but because it felt final, like a wall coming down. She reportedly tried to de-escalate, saying things like, "We'll fix this, and you know I wouldn't do anything to hurt us." But Harry didn't want soothing words. He wanted answers. This is the part that really stings. Harry no longer knows if he's in control of anything in his life. His titles are mostly gone. His reputation's been dragged through the mud. And now, even his finances are being managed behind closed doors. That's not partnership. That's powerlessness. And the money isn't even the full picture, it's what it represents. A buildup of silent resentments, a history of Meghan making moves, then filling Harry in. Whether it's signing deals, planning interviews, choosing partnerships, time and again, Meghan has made the big plays. And Harry, loyal to a fault, has backed her until now. Because when your name's on the bank account, but you're the last to know where the money's gone, that's not just frustrating. That's emasculating. And yes, we're using that word intentionally. Because make no mistake, the image of Harry, once the bold soldier and cheeky royal, now constantly appearing tired, defensive, or worse, irrelevant, that's not lost on the public. Comments like "he's just Meghan's handbag now" or "the traitor prince looks like he's aged 10 years and 2" have flooded the internet. Whether you agree or not, the perception matters, and Harry sees it, feels it. And this explosion might just be the moment he finally cracks under it. And what about Meghan's motivation? That's a fair question. Why would she make such a huge financial decision without Harry's sign-off? Some insiders believe it wasn't malice, it was desperation. Desperation to prove she could still build something powerful after the Spotify collapse. That she could still deliver headlines and revenue. Maybe it was an investment in a new brand, a private production, or a PR deal meant to reframe their image. In Meghan's mind, she was betting on herself. A woman pushed out of the palace, painted as a villain, called everything from gold digger to manipulator. And in that mindset, maybe she thought, "This is how I prove them wrong." But she didn't tell Harry. And whether it was fear, arrogance, or just tunnel vision, that omission changed everything. 'Cause now, to Harry, it's not about the money. It's about trust. If Meghan can make this kind of move without him, what else has she been doing in secret? And here's where it hits hardest. For the first time in their marriage, Harry might be seeing Meghan through the public's eyes. Not through the lens of love or loyalty or shared trauma, but through the lens of doubt. You can only defend someone for so long before you start wondering if you've been wrong. And Harry, he's been the defender of Meghan, of their choices, of their narrative, through Oprah, through lawsuits, through exile. But this £1.5 million disaster, that hit too close. And it's opened the door to questions Harry's probably kept locked away. Questions like, what if Charles was right? What if William saw something I didn't? What if this life we built is built on sand? And those questions, they don't go away. Not after a blow-up like this. Behind closed doors, the dynamic is shifting. For years, Meghan has been the one steering the brand, the message, the moves. But now, that control is slipping. Insiders say Harry has started making calls on his own, reaching out to former staff, even tentatively speaking with a royal aide he'd once cut off. The man who once walked away from Buckingham Palace might now be walking back. Not literally, but emotionally. And it's not just emotional. There are practical problems too. With Doria out of the picture, Meghan's internal support system has shrunk. A few close friends remain, but many former allies in the entertainment industry have reportedly cooled their connections. She's high risk now, one Hollywood insider claimed. Everyone's watching to see what she does next. No one wants to get caught in the crossfire. And with Harry increasingly detached, Meghan is facing something she's rarely encountered: isolation. Real isolation. No palace. No Hollywood circle. No husband in her corner. Not fully, anyway. Public, meanwhile, is sharpening its knives. Some are calling for a financial audit, speculating where the £1.5 million really went. Others are predicting divorce. And the memes? Relentless. From Montecito mistake to spare the bank account, social media has turned their crisis into a punchline. But for all the mockery, there's a darker undertone. Some genuinely worry that this is the beginning of a collapse. Financial, emotional, marital, And once the cracks begin, they're hard to stop. The narrative has shifted from brave escapees to spoiled runaways, from trailblazers to cautionary tales. And that shift is brutal, especially when you once sat atop the world's most powerful royal brand. So where do they go from here? That's the million-pound question, or in this case, the 1.5 million pound question. Do they rebuild trust? Do they step back from public life completely? Do they separate for a trial pause, as some sources are whispering? Or does Harry finally draw a line, not out of hatred but out of survival? For his dignity, his children, his sanity. Because if this mistake really was the final straw, then what comes next isn't just tabloid fodder. It's the unraveling of a modern royal myth. And as always, we want to hear what you think. Is this the beginning of the end? Was Harry's explosion justified? Is Meghan in over her head? Or is this just another smear campaign with a louder echo this time? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't hold back. The world certainly isn't. And if this really is just the beginning of the fallout, you can bet the next headline won't be about Netflix deals or podcast plans. It'll be about how one royal mistake cost more than money. It cost trust. And in a marriage under this much pressure, that might be the one thing they can't afford to lose.